Question 4. What was your favorite moment from that time?
So, my favorite moment from that time was the skate park. Quite simply because we had been to the 2 rallies previously and weren't really sure what we were going to encounter here. And this one, there was much more mystery building up to, because if I remember correctly, again, this had to do with the people buying the comic off of the eBay account that mysteriously showed up, which contained clues. If I remember correctly, it was like longitude and latitude to the skate park, and then we weren't quite sure if it was actually supposed to be at the skate park, and then figuring out how to get to the skate park, because we had never been to the skate park before, because we are not skaters. All of that, and then really not sure what we were going to encounter, whether it was just Speaker's going to show up again, make another speech. That would have been fine. It had seemed like, building up to it, that there was going to be more than that when we got there. We actually got there early, which was interesting because, as far as we could tell, we were the first Chikara fans, the Hellenic Air Force, Icarus Air Force people, not just them, but that's what we were called on the forum, that showed up, because we came wearing our shirts. There may have been other Chikara fans there that were not wearing Chikara identifiable shirts, but we showed up early enough, not on purpose, just because we left enough time, because we'd never been there before, we were afraid we were going to be late, that we got to see them putting up the ring. It was the first time we saw Kid Cyclone. Didn't really know who he was, so that kind of threw us off a little bit. We saw the Banana from Wrestling is Fun. I don't know what happened to the Banana, but we always enjoyed seeing him at Wrestling is Fun, and he was there being one of the guys helping setting up the ring. So obviously when we got there and saw they were setting up a ring, we realized, oh, this is going to be more than just Icarus showing up or other wrestlers showing up. So if I remember correctly, Gavin said he was going to be there, so we had a feeling. We thought he was going to be there. I believe Bryce said he was going to be there. So we had an idea it might be something more, but really we're not expecting them to set up a ring.
Or thinking there was going to be a show of any kind.
Of any kind, granted being a shorter, concise show. And then being there, and then just like they got the ring built. Learned it's much quicker to set up a ring than to take down a ring, or they were just really good at taking down the ring. I'm not sure if they were allowed to have done this, if they had permits, or whatever the situation may have been, but they broke that ring down really fast. But anyway, in regards to when they actually had the couple matches that they had, there was Chikara, Bryce was there, Gavin was there, it had that Chikara vibe. The most fans up until that point had showed up. It was attracting the skaters, random guys. Remember some
people were jogging,
some Philly guy.
What is going on?
Tracksuit comes walking over and is like, "Hey, what's going on over here? What's this? I'm wrestling. Okay, I'll watch this." And it was, it was just like this, had a very interesting vibe. And obviously, Condor Security had been warning that they were going to get involved, so we're all kind of looking over. At least I was. Then we got into the match, and ironically enough, I was standing right next to Tom, the gentleman, the member of the Chikara that was kidnapped by Condor Security. And hate to say the funny part, but the part that I found amusing about that occurring, because it really freaked people out, because people at the skate park that were not familiar with what was going on thought it was totally legit. I mean, 2 big guys come and grab them, throw them in the back of the van, drive away. The wrestlers all get in their cars and chase after them. I remember correctly, Cabal legit got in a car accident that day with ice creams in the car, and that wasn't fun necessarily, but it just made the whole story all that more crazy and interesting. But people were so into the match that was going on that the 2 Condor guys came up and grabbed Tom and were dragging him away, and I'm literally like, "Hey, everybody! I know there's an awesome
I didn't notice right away because I was too busy watching the match,
going on in the ring,
then I was like,
but do you see
what's going on?
The fact that a guy is being kidnapped, literally,
somebody pay attention
right now? No, nobody. We're just gonna watch the match." And okay, but then everybody realized, but it was just kind of funny because it was just like you could tell how much we were like starved for actual Chikara wrestlers in the ring doing their thing, and it just made the entire event as a whole all that more special. And I've talked for 5 minutes already just about my thing, and her thing is totally different. So I'm gonna stop talking.
The movie premiere of Ashes for Chikara was really cool. Like, it was at this mall, which we've never been to, and it was really nice. And so then we got there a little early too, I think, and we were walking up and we got to stand outside and wait and see what was going on. And then the wrestlers started coming in a limo in groups, I think small groups, maybe 2 at a time, I think it was, and it was exciting to see them like show up like that, like they were movie stars, and they were all like dressed up and like strutting, and it was really cool. And then to watch the whole thing, and then to come out and to kind of like mingle a little bit with the other Chikarmi people and a little bit of the wrestlers themselves too. That was really cool. That was one of my favorite parts.
That's it?
Yep, I don't have too much more to add.
The movie premiere was awesome.
Yeah.
Just for me, the skate park, just I don't know, it was the danger aspect of it or what, just touch me a little more. I did want to throw in just a little extra a bit. My least favorite part of the storyline was actually the shutdown of Wrestling is Respect. Like I said, we've been to every one of those shows. The style of those shows, I think due to Delirious's involvement, were different, and we got to see a lot of the Chikara stars wrestle a different style. The first time we ever saw Jervis Cottonbelly was in Wrestling is Respect, oddly enough, wrestling Drew Gulak. We got to see just a different side of some of the Chikara wrestlers, and we had a feeling the shutdown was coming because all the other Wrestling is promotions were being shut down one by one, and we were at the show, and Bacabella and Devastation Corporation, who I was actually a big fan of, came out, and they were the ones that shut down the show and ripped the poster that said Wrestling is Respect. I would have loved to have had that in my collection as well. So that was tough.
Being there was
tough because it's
much more emotional being there than just hearing about it.
Yeah, Chikara wasn't back yet, so losing another company, even though it was still part of the bigger storyline, was difficult, because then we knew we weren't going to get any more of those shows. So, granted, the crowds were always smaller for that, but we really enjoyed the work that the guys put in there.
Yeah, I felt like even though it wasn't that big, it was intimate, because still got to be a part of it, even though the area wasn't that big for that many people to be there.
So that's answered those questions, and yes, I did try to get my ring-worn Silver Ant mask in the picture. I'm hiding Galactus, and I did want to get my ring-worn Jigsaw mask in, who's being hiding Mystique, along with all my replicas and my King of Trios 2016.